Okay, so very good evening to all of you. Now today we are going to discuss about the topics which we have already covered. What I have done this time, I have taken all questions from your respective question papers. Okay, so we are going to discuss question wise with respect to two topics, national income accounting and Keynesian theory. So I'll take one by one questions. But before that, I simply want to say one thing, that we have already done the conversion part. You remember, conversions are very, very important that you should remember about. So conversions, what we have done from national income accounting. We go for converting national income in terms of conversions. What we have done, can you recap? What are the conversions we have shared? The conversion factors, national income accounting. If you go from GDP to the national income, that is NDP at factor cost. So how do you go from GDP to factor cost? That you should understand first and the foremost to solve any queries related to this. Okay, so looking for a pen to make you understand. Yeah. So what we have done till now, we have done national income accounting. We have done Keynesian theory. Okay, that is equilibrium. These are the two chapters we have done. Today I want to do all questions related to national income accounting and Keynesian theory so that it becomes easy for you to connect any of the concepts. And these are all concept-based numericals which I have taken it from the time when this paper was started. Okay, so that very year till December 21, we have taken all the papers, questions related to that. So it will be easy for you to understand. So that is what we are going to do today. But before that, national income accounting, you remember, it is about national income, which is NNP at factor cost. Please do remember this, NNP at factor cost. Okay, and then we had shared that why GDP is so important in this very chapter. So we will be discussing about conversions here, solving all the numericals related to that. And when we talk about Keynesian, we had discussed about the concept of multiplier. Multiplier and equilibrium and consumption function. So consumption function was C was equal to A plus B by D. And then we had done multiplier, all the categories of multiplier. Okay, so we will be solving problems. I want you to solve simultaneously along with me so that it becomes easy for you to understand that how is it going. Okay, and we have done the concept of GDP deflator also. So the first and the foremost question here is, absolutely, Karthik, gross to net. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Happy Navratri to all of you. Bless you all. Okay, so we are doing here first question. I have not stated which year it was given, but yes, all questions were from your question papers. Okay, so take it very seriously. So the first question is, nominal GDP is given to you, the nominal and real GDP of a country in the financial year. This was a 3-mark question. 18-19 were 1500 crores and 1200 crore respectively. So they have given you nominal GDP. What is the value of nominal GDP? 1500 crore, and real GDP value is 1200 crore. Now what do you have to calculate? You have to calculate GDP deflator. So you have to calculate GDP deflator for which year? 18-19. And comment. I told you prior also that this paper is not core about mathematical. So they don't want to check your mathematical skill. They want to see that how well you understand concepts and can go for drawing inferences through that. So that is very, very important. So here you have to comment also that what is the significance of this? We will be sharing that. Number 2 question is inflation rate in the financial year 1920, assuming GDP deflator rate is given to you 140. So you remember GDP deflator. What is the concept of GDP deflator? GDP deflator is nominal GDP by real GDP into 100. This is what? This is known as GDP deflator. In this case, they have given you nominal GDP. Nominal GDP is given 1500 crores and real is given 1200 into 100. So first, how should you attempt the question? First, you should write that GDP deflator. What is the GDP deflator? GDP deflator helps to understand the impact of inflation. It deflates the impact of inflation by taking into consideration nominal and real GDP. Number one. Number two, you write the formula. So formula is nominal GDP to real GDP. That is GDP deflator. I have written here D as subscript. You will write GDP deflator. Okay, so you'll write GDP deflator, then you'll write the value here. So we'll write nominal GDP value is given to you 1500, real GDP is given 1200. Calculate. What's the answer for this? So the answer will come, this is 1.25, this will come 125. Isn't it? All of you are getting this? This is a simple question, no? Absolutely. So Hitesh has done, Sheetan has done, and Shivam has done. So, okay, zoom. To zoom further, is it okay now? I hope you can see now. Okay, the value you get there is 125. Now, what will be the comment you will be writing here with respect to this? You will write that GDP deflator depicts that there is increase in the price level since the value of GDP is greater than 100 at 125. So that will be the comment you will be writing with respect to the GDP. So what's your inference which you are drawing through this? That there is increase in the price level in the economy. Reason being the value of GDP deflator is greater than 100. If this would have been less than 100, then you will say that the GDP deflator depicts or represents decrease in the price level in the economy since the value of GDP deflator is less than 100. If it is greater than 100, there is increase in the price level. Why? Because the value of GDP deflator is greater than 100 at 125. Is it clear to all of you? So GDP deflator comment you will write like this. Yes. So this is what is the conclusion you will draw through this. Number two, second part of the question. Second part of the question is about what? So this 1.5 mark. And the second part is inflation rate in the financial years. You have to find out inflation rate. So how will you find out inflation rate? You know the concept of GDP deflator we have done. And you can calculate inflation rate also. How will you calculate here inflation rate? For calculating inflation rate, what do you have to do? You have to write GDP deflator. I'm writing subscript as D. आप deflator लिखेंगे, okay? GDP deflator in the year 2 minus GDP deflator in year 1 divided by GDP deflator in year 1 into 100. Once you write this, then you will write note over here. We'll write note as year 2 represents 1920. Year 1 represents 1890. So do write a note. Okay, so write a note that year GDP year 2, GDP deflator year 2 represents financial year 1920. And similarly, you'll write GDP deflator year 1 represents financial year 1819. Once you have done this, then you substitute the values here. Yes, just read. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Pooja is right. Yes. 12%. So Dev, your answer is wrong. It's not B. Okay. Is it given somewhere? You're writing B. 12%. Okay. So then now you calculate, you substitute here the values. Substitute the values. So GDP in year deflator 2 is given to you 140. So you will write 140 So you will write here 140. I'm sorry. So some of you have already calculated. So this is how you'll do. Okay. So this is question number 1. We have done with respect to, okay, you're writing B with respect to this. Yes. So you will write GDP 140. 140, you have already written formula, you have written note for this. Then you'll write GDP deflator of financial year 1920, 140. Minus, you will write off, you have already calculated, you had calculated how much? 125 divided by 125 into 100. This gives you value at 12%. So you will say that the increase in the price level, inflation rate, write a note. Inflation rate in the financial year 1920, assuming GDP deflator in the year 140 as compared to year 1819 is 12%. Make a habit of writing complete statement. I'm telling you again and again that this is not a paper where you have to simply solve numerical values. If you are not writing conclusion, if you are not drawing inferences to this, you will lose your marks despite getting correct answer. So do take care about this. Okay, so this is clear. Inflation rate. So you got inflation rate? Good. So majority of you have got it? Good. So this question is clear. So the next question is, about this. They're asking, this is given to you. And this question is for 5 marks. This is for 5 marks. What is given to you? They have given you domestic sales, opening stock, exports, depreciation. And what they're asking you to calculate gross value of output. Gross value of output at market price. Gross value added at market price. Then they are asking you net value added at market price. This 5 mark question, so 1 mark for each. Isn't it? So gross value of output, gross value added at market price, net value added at market price, net domestic product at factor cost, and NNP at factor cost. Now first and the foremost, you see which method it is. It is output method. And you remember in output method, what is the end product we get? End product we get what? GDP at market price. Remember? This is what we had discussed. So in the output method, you get GDP at market price, number 1. Number 2, what is the formula here? So you write, number 1, this is output method. Number 2, you write for the output method, GDP at market price. How do you get? You get it. Always make a habit of writing formulas first and then start solving it. Because the examiner should be convinced that this child knows all the concepts, and you'll automatically save marks. Otherwise, you'll lose. Okay, so GDP at market price. So what will you write? GDP at market. You will write output method. You get GDP at market price. What is the formula? Gross value of output in the primary sector minus intermediate consumption. आप पूरा लिखेंगे. I'm writing abbreviations. You will write complete, okay? Intermediate consumption. So please make a habit. Gross value of output, primary sector minus intermediate consumption of primary sector. This is 1. Second is gross value of output, secondary sector minus intermediate consumption in secondary sector plus gross value of output, tertiary sector minus intermediate consumption, tertiary sector. Okay, intermediate consumption in tertiary sector. This will give you GDP at market price. Now, first and the foremost, they are asking you gross value of output. You should write what is gross value of output. How do you get gross value of output at market price? What is gross value of output? Gross value of output is sales plus change in stock. What is sales? Sales is price into quantity sold. What is change in stock? Change in stock is closing stock minus opening stock. Okay, so this is what you have to do. So first thing they are asking you gross value of output. Gross value of output, how will you get? They've given you domestic sales, 1. So that is 3,600, one component plus sales. Second component, exports is also sales. Why is it sales in domestic sales? Reason being those goods which are produced in the country are exported to the international market. So that means they are produced within the domestic territory. So this is also part of it. So domestic sales within the country, exports outside the country, but the goods are produced within the country. So that's the sales figure. Okay. So sales, you'll take this 3,600 plus 1,000. That is sales. Change in stock. Change in stock is closing stock. Closing stock is 200. Opening stock is 800. So that means 3,600 plus 1,000 plus change in stock. Change in stock will be 200 minus 800. That comes to minus 600. Yes. So 4,600 minus 600. That will give you what? That will give you gross value of output. One comment. How do you get 140? Mukta, I have not got 140. It is given over here. You see, this is given in the question itself. It's given here 140. Can you see here? The value is given here of 140. I'm not taking it from my side. 125 we have calculated in the first question. 140 is given to you for the second question, in the second question. And that is how you'll get it. Okay, so Mukta, is it clear? 140. So gross value of output. You'll get the gross value of output. Okay, so what's the answer you're getting? I've also calculated. Gross value of output is 3,800 crores. 3,800 crores. How come you are not getting gross value of output? They're asking gross value of output. Gross value of output is sales plus change in stock. So sales plus change in stock value, find out how much is it. 3,600 plus 800 plus 200 minus 800. So 800 will cancel out. Okay. So 3,800, you will get 3,800. How come 4,000, Hitesh? Just check the value. You will get 3,800 because 3,600 plus 1,000 is 4,600. 4,600. And in this case, 200 minus 800. Yeah, correct. Correct. So this is the answer you get. Okay, so this is correct. Okay, once you get gross value of output, what next you have to calculate? You have to calculate gross value added. How do you get gross value added? You deduct from gross value of output. You have got how much? 4,000. From 4,000, you deduct what? You deduct intermediate consumption. That is 600. So you deduct 4,000 minus 600. That gives you what? 3,400. So 3,400, you get what? You get gross value added at market price. So minus intermediate consumption, you get gross value added. Done? Zoom again. Can't you see? Okay, I'll increase. Is it okay now? Yes. All of you have got, I believe, gross value of output at market price. You have got correct. Once you have got gross value of output, now you have to deduct intermediate consumption. Intermediate consumption is given how much? 600. So 4,000 minus 600 is how much? 3,400. So 3,400 is gross value added, isn't it? So how do you get gross value added? Gross value added is gross value added at market price is nothing than GDP. It's one and the same thing. GDP at market price, one and the same thing. And how do you get gross value of output at MP minus intermediate consumption? So you deduct intermediate consumption, gross value, you have already got 4,000 minus intermediate consumption is given 600, and make a habit of writing units. It is given in crores. Please do mention in crores. Okay, so this you have got, this you have got. Net value added. How to go from gross to net? You know how to go from gross to net. See, Shivam, why are we including exports? Because the goods are produced in the domestic territory. So sales, we are talking this by the output method. Output method means what you export from the country, you produce within the country, no? So that is why it is in the domestic territory. That is why it's part of the sales component, okay? Because agriculture, if you're producing wheat in India, if farmers are producing wheat in India, and that wheat is, half of the component is sold in India and rest they go for selling it abroad. So that doesn't mean that that quantum of wheat is not produced in India. Okay, so this is clear. Then we deduct depreciation. Absolutely right. So to go from gross to net, you deduct depreciation. What is the value of depreciation they have given? They've given depreciation 300. So you deduct depreciation from this 3400, 300, that comes to 3100. So your net value added at market price becomes 3400 minus 300. Formulas likhiye zarur. So you will write, what will you write here? You will not write straight values. You will write net value added at market price is equal to GDP at market price minus depreciation. And then you substitute the values, okay? Always make a habit of writing this. Absolutely right, gross to net. So you got 3100. Aap formula zarur likhega, please. If you are not writing formula, you will lose marks. I am not written here, aap likhega zarur. Net value added at market price, do write here GDP at market price or gross value added at market price minus depreciation. Then you substitute. Done this. Then next is NDP at factor cost. You know from market price to factor cost, how do we go? We have done these mantras. How do you go from market price to factor cost? What you have to do? How do you achieve factor cost to market price? So what we do basically here, market price to factor cost, we deduct net indirect taxes, isn't it? Market price to factor cost. So you deduct net indirect taxes. Now they have given you what is net indirect taxes. Indirect taxes are indirect taxes minus subsidies. So they have given you indirect taxes. They have given you net indirect taxes straight. So what will you do? You will deduct from market price 3100. You deduct 400. So from this you deduct 400. Okay. Yes, I'll post it. Don't worry, I'll post it. No. You are not supposed to add here. You have to deduct here. Aniket, you have to deduct here net indirect taxes because you are going from market price to factor cost. Okay, so when you go from market price to factor cost, net indirect taxes to be deducted. You remember these golden rules we have shared. So deduct net indirect taxes, you will get the value of NDP at factor cost. Done? Got the value of, so from 3100 you will deduct what? You will deduct 400. 3100, 400, that comes to 2900. 2900 crore is NDP at factor cost. Then you have to get NNP at factor cost. NNP at factor cost, how do you go from NDP at factor cost to NNP at factor cost? From domestic to national? What do? You add NFIA. When you add net factor income from abroad, you move from domestic to national. So you get what? 2900 you got here, 2900 here. And from 2900, when we add net factor income, that is given 10. So 2900 plus 10 is 2910. Is the NNP at factor cost. Straight 5 marks you'll get. If you will write formulas, if you'll substitute the value correctly, if you know the fundamental concept, how to go from market price to factor cost, from gross to net, from domestic to national, this is how you have to do the question. Any numerical you can solve if you remember these fundamental rules. Absolutely, add NFIA. So add NFIA and you get the value here. Okay, by adding NFIA, yes, you're right. So by adding NFIA, 3100 minus 400 is 2700. You're right, 2700, 2710, 2710. Yes. Yes, you're right. Done. Okay, so this is what is clear. How come 2700? 29 ही तो होगा. So this is how you have to do it. Okay, so simple maths, you can do it. The next question is consumption function. How is aggregate consumption function? This is thought-provoking question. Okay, so the question, this is of 3 marks, and the question is how is aggregate consumption function affected? So you know aggregate consumption function. What is the formula of aggregate consumption function? Consumption is a function of A plus B by D. This is what we have done, consumption function. Okay, and YD you know is Y plus transfer receipts minus taxes. Yes? Now they are asking first part of the question. Each one is a 1 mark. First question is an impending war is expected to result in shortage of goods and adoption of a rationing system. There's shortage of goods and the government goes for rationing. Rationing means they control the supply of goods so that it should be available to all. Then in that case, what has to be done? If the goods have to be available to all, A is autonomous. Yes, absolutely right, Jaspreet. A is autonomous. B is marginal propensity to consume. So what is going to happen here? A, autonomous, is not going to be affected. No, B is going to be affected. Why B is going to be affected? Because the price is going to go up. There is shortage of goods. Then they are going for rationing. Rationing means, rationing samajhte hain? To limit the quantum. So if there is, because war is expected, no? So if there is war, then in that case, what happens? The supply is not going to increase. So the limited supply has to be catered to a whole lot of people. And to cater to a whole lot of people, then they go for fixing the limit. And once you fix the limit, prices will shoot up, no? So the prices are going to shoot up. What happens to your cost? Cost goes up. Disposable income of yours will reduce. Disposable income reduces, consumption will reduce. Okay, then second is increased cost for steel, oil, etc. expected to result in higher prices for consumer goods. Cost of steel goes up, oil goes up, like you see, because of this crisis which is happening, war between Ukraine and Russia. So India imports a lot from Ukraine sunflower oil. Now, because of this, what's happening? The cost of sunflower oil in India is going up. So your chips, what you eat, all edible oil, which are made of edible oil, prices are going up. Prices goes up because that means the price goes up. So the same quantum of good you cannot buy. Your disposable income will be less, which will be making you to buy less because the price level has gone up. So consumption will reduce. What about the next point? The leadership assures that economic policy is bringing the recession to an end. Recession, you know, aggregate demand decreases. This is from Keynesian model. These questions are from Keynesian chapter. So if aggregate demand is low, that is recession. So if aggregate demand goes down, if aggregate, simple Hindi में इसमें क्या बताना है मैंने? Simple concept है, war है तो war, because of war what happens? Overall, shortage of goods will be there. Shortage of goods is there. That means the quantum will reduce. Quantum means quantity reduce हो जाएगी. Quantity reduces means prices बढ़ जाएंगी. Prices बढ़ जाएंगी. So your purchasing power will go down. Purchasing power goes down means you will be able to purchase less. Your consumption will reduce. And the next point is the leadership assures that economic policy is bringing the recession to an end. Government takes measures which helps to reduce the impact of price level, the demand overall. So demand is, so people start believing government is taking the charge and economy will be back on track. Just आपने देखा था during COVID what happened? COVID, people were very pessimistic about that jobs will not be there. So people were not spending. So consumption demand went down. So what government did? Government started taking initiative. Government started taking initiative, health measures. Government started taking initiative in terms of giving rebate and other things. So what happened because of that? Aggregate demand started increasing. Deflation हमने पढ़ा है ना? So aggregate demand started increasing. So aggregate demand starts increasing means the consumption demand will increase. And you remember aggregate demand in a 2-sector model when we had shared what are the 2 components, consumption and investments. What happens to investments? Investments are more like they are autonomous, no? But consumption demand increases, which brings increase in the aggregate demand. So in this case, consumption will increase because the government has taken measures, economic policy measures. So here, consumption will increase. Here, consumption will decrease. What happened in the case of war? Consumption will decrease. So in the third case, it will increase. In the first two cases, consumption will decrease. So consumption function के respect में आप इसको explain कीजिए. So you should know the concept of disposable income. Disposable income is dependent on what? Disposable income is dependent on tax and transfer receipts. इस case में government will go for transfer receipts more. Transfer receipts more means disposable income बढ़ेगी. Disposable income increases means consumption will increase. But in these two cases, overall prices will go up, disposable income will decrease, and hence the consumption will reduce. Okay? Autonomous पे कोई impact नहीं पड़ेगा. Autonomous will not be affected because autonomous is something. What is autonomous? Autonomous is something. This is induced. Okay? So this one is induced. जो आप B component है, that is known as induced consumption. ये किस पे depend करता है? Depends on income. What about A? A is independent of income, so it is autonomous in nature. Okay, so the factors which are affecting here is because of the income factor. This can also affect autonomous because war ho gaya, basically, so shortage of goods ho gaya, so autonomous can also get affected because it's not directly related to disposable income, but definitely shortage of goods is there, so autonomous may get affected here. Okay, so both आप इसमें दोनों लिख सकते हैं, autonomous B और induced B, first case. Next question. So the next question here is, I'm sorry, shall I reduce the size to just font size to make you once go through the question and then we can start. Okay, so this question is about national income. And they're asking you to calculate income, national income by income and expenditure method. This is 5-mark question. 5-mark question, they're asking you to calculate national income. What's the question? So can you see the question here? The question is calculate national income. Now the moment they say national income, it should click to you. National income is which income? It is NNP at factor cost. आपको immediately click करना चाहिए. So when we say national income, means they're asking you NNP at factor cost. Number 2, you should know income method. What do you get through income method? Income method से आपको क्या मिलता है? You get end product as NDP at factor cost. Okay? And through expenditure method, what do you get? You get GDP at market price. So we have shared this in national income accounting. So the moment you read the question, it should click to you. National income क्या होता है? NNP at factor cost. Through income method, what do you get? You get NDP at factor cost. Through expenditure method, what do you get at GDP at market price? So once you know, now you look at the components here. So what are the components of GDP at market expenditure method? Expenditure method formula is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Isn't it? Consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, government expenditure, and net exports. This is for the income method. You get GDP at market price. And through income method, what is the formula for income method? Income method formula is compensation of employees, rent, interest, profit, plus mixed income. आप MI मत लिखिएगा. You write complete, okay? Do not write INT. Write interest, profit, and mixed income. This gives you what? This gives you NDP at factor cost. Done? So this is by income method. This is by expenditure method. This you should know. Number 2, you should know national income is NNP at factor cost. Once you have done it, once you get NDP at factor cost by this method, then you have to go to NNP at factor cost. That means what? Domestic to national. What do you have to do when you go from domestic to national? We have done conversions. When you go from domestic to national, what do you have to do? You have to add NFIA. So you just add NFIA in this, you will be here. Here you are at GDP at market price. From GDP at market price, आपको कहाँ जाना है? You have to go to NNP at factor cost. NNPF factor cost कैसे जाएंगे? Gross to net. Gross to net is minus depreciation. Domestic to national is plus NFIA. Market price to factor cost is minus net indirect taxes. Please solve it. You solve it yourself, please. First, do it by income method. So for income method, I'm sharing the question. So for income method, you need what? You need now the components you need for income method are okay. So here it is given. So it is given compensation of employees. So they have given you compensation of employees 24,000. They have given you rent, interest, and profit, that is 10,000. Formula लिखिएगा पहले जरूर. Rent, interest, and then mixed income. Mixed income is 28,000. So we have added compensation of employees. We have added rent plus interest plus profit plus mixed income. What have we got? We have got NDP at factor cost. This is which method? This is income method. So you get the value here. So what is the value at NDP at factor cost? Absolutely. अच्छा solve कीजिए. Okay, Shivam, I'm giving you time. Solve it. How much? I'm waiting. $62,000. Absolutely right. 62,000 आपका आ गया NDP at factor cost. Now in this, what do you have to add? In this, what you have to add? इसमें आप add क्या करेंगे? NFIA. Why NFIA? Because you know national income is NNP at factor cost. आपको domestic को national में convert करना है. So to convert domestic to national, you will add NFIA. Net factor income from abroad is given to you here. Where have they given? This is minus 300. So net factor income from abroad is given minus 300. So 62,000 में से आप minus 300 minus कीजिए. Because we are adding, no. So it will be deducted only because minus hai. So you will go for NFIA, yes. NDP factor cost, absolutely right. NFIA. So NFIA is given to you. आपको बताया NFIA value I've shared. NFIA is given minus 300. So NFIA is given minus 300. So you have got 62,000 minus 300. That comes to 61,700 crores, isn't it? So you get 61,700 crore national income through income method. Now you have to do it by expenditure method. All of you have got it? 62,000 minus 300 done. So 61,700 answer आ गया ना आपका 61,700 crore is the answer. Okay, done. Now the second is by expenditure method. So expenditure method you know is absolutely right. Outcome Pooja 59 कैसे आया है? 59 नहीं आएगा, wrong है 59. 61 is correct. 61,700 is correct. Yes, absolutely right. So those who have got 61,700 is right. 6. That is right. Okay. So you have got it by income method. अब आपको expenditure method से calculate करना है. So what is given to you? You have given G. So government purchase of goods and services. So 7,000 G. Okay. So G component is given. Then the next is given gross fixed investment capital. So this is I, this is G. Okay, inventory investment is also I. Fixed investment and inventory investment is also I. Then you have got personal consumption expenditure, that is C. Yes. Then they have given you exports. This is X. Then I'll share the values, don't worry. Then they have given imports, M. Okay. So I'm sharing the values. You can write down and calculate. Okay. Government purchases of goods and services, G is given 7,000. Okay, G is given to you 7,000. Done. Investment components are fixed investment and inventory investment. Investments are given 13,000 plus 3,000. Done. Investments are 13,000 plus 3,000. Government expenditure is 7,000. Done. Then consumption is given as 51,000. Consumption given 51,000. So C is 51,000. G is 7,000. I is 13,000 plus 3,000. That is 16,000. Okay. जब आप लिखेंगे, you will write all the components. You will not write just investments. You will write gross business fixed capital plus inventory investment. Okay. So write all the components. When you are writing your formulas, make a habit of writing complete thing. Okay, so some of you have calculated GDP at market price. Okay, so once you have got absolutely right. GDP is right, you have got 73,200 crores. Absolutely right. Up Shivam, once and Hitesh, you people have got GDP at market price, you have to go to what? You have to go to NNP at factor cost. So what you have to do? GDP at market price, say NNP at factor cost, what do you have to do? Deduct depreciation number 1. Depreciation is given. How much is depreciation given to you? Consumption of fixed capital given 4,000. So deduct 4,000 first and the foremost, because you are going from GDP. You are going from GDP at market price to NDP at market price first and the foremost. From gross to net, you deduct depreciation. Depreciation is given. This consumption of fixed capital is depreciation. Yes, so that is given 4,000. So from 73,200 में से minus कीजिए 4,000. That will give you what? NDP at market price. Once you get NDP at market price, you have to go to NNP at market price. क्या करेंगे आप? You will add NFIA. What is the value of NFIA? Net factor income is given minus 300. So once you deduct this, you have to add NFIA minus 300 NFIA, and from NFIA further, you have to go for minus NIT, net indirect taxes. What is the value of net indirect taxes? Indirect taxes are given. Indirect taxes given 9,000 and subsidies given 1,800. Indirect taxes given 9,000 and subsidies given 1,800. What is the answer you will get? GDP at market price is 73,200. Pooja, 73,200. What is the NNP at factor cost? Yes, Shivam, we have got 61,700. Absolutely right, 61,700. So जो आपको आंसर इनकम मेथड से मिला, same answer you have got it through expenditure method. Okay, so your answer is 61,700. This is 5-mark question by income and expenditure method. So if you know the components, what is the end product? By which method? What do you get end product? What is the concept of national income? How the conversions are done? Write all the components. Make a habit of writing all the components. And then substitute the values. Okay? Always do like this. Yes, always, Karthik, always. Always break down the conversion. the examiner will come to know that yes, you know the concepts very well. If you go for substituting straight one go, then in that case, there are two probability. One, you may do some mistakes. Secondly, the examiner may overlook certain things. So to make examiner read what is the correct answer you have done and how did you achieve that, it's very important to go stepwise. Okay, so follow the conversions by heart and follow it clearly. Yes, I'm going slow only, Mukta. We have already done these concepts. You should know how to do conversions. How it comes, explain it once. GDP at market price, Pooja, simply you have to add all the components C plus I plus G plus X minus M. C, government expenditure is given 7,000. Gross business investment is given 13,000. 7,000 plus 13,000 is 20,000. Inventory investment is 23,000. Consumption expenditure is given 51,000. And net export is given 4,800. And import is given how much? Import is given 5,600. Minus कर दीजिए. Okay? बिल्कुल formulas हमेशा आपको लिखना है. Formulas, always write formulas. If I show full question, then you will not be able to see the size. Don't say then zoom it, because I cannot go for sharing the question. You can see the question here, but then in that case I cannot zoom it. So you decide. NNP at factor cost. Yes, right. Okay, so this is how we have done it. Okay, next question. थोड़ा सा आपको पेस बढ़ाना पड़ेगा और जो हम कर चुके हैं कॉन्सेप्ट्स वो आपको आने चाहिए, बिकॉज आई डोंट हैव टाइम दिस मच दैट मैं अगेन आपको सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स बताऊं और फिर हम क्वेश्चंस करें. It's not possible. This is only to make you understand how to attempt it and score. Okay? Yes, it is right. Aditya, it's right. Okay. So the next question is, it is consumption function. This is 3-mark question. They have given you consumption function. Can you see this? Okay. So this is visible. So this is from the next chapter, Keynesian concept, which we have done. Given you consumption function, you can see here consumption function is given. Consumption function is 450 plus 0.7. This is what? This is A. What is A? A is autonomous and this is B. B is marginal propensity to consume. This is Y. Now they are asking you from this consumption function, they are asking you have to compute consumption when disposable income is 3,500 and 5,800. So simple question, C is equal to 450 plus 0.70. Disposable income is given 3,500. You will get consumption here by taking 3,500. Next equation will be C is equal to 450 plus 0.70, 5,800. So you will get two consumption values here with respect to this. So the first will be your C is equal to A plus B by D. You will write A is autonomous consumption, B is marginal propensity to consume, YD is disposable income, YD is Y plus TR minus taxes. We have done this. अब तो आपको याद हो जाना चाहिए. And this is given, disposable income is given. You can find out the value of consumption. Answer, we are solving it. These are from your question paper. So I have solved it and simultaneously your fellow friends are solving it. Okay? So you have to solve it. Answers आपको मिलेंगे नहीं इसके. So the first is 2,900. Yes, right. Yes. And 4,510. Absolutely right. Ankur, you are right. Pareem is right. Jaspreet is right. Sravna is right. Yes. Srijani is right. All of you are right. So you have got 2900 and 4510. Done. Now the next they are asking savings. Savings. For savings, what do you have to do? Savings when disposable income. So you know what is the formula of saving? What's the equation for saving? Saving function you can derive from consumption function. So what is saving function? Saving is equal to minus A plus 1 minus B by D. Yes. So आपके पास consumption function है, you can get saving function, and then YD value you substitute here. So what will be your equation here? Yes, Mukta, right. No, not 4150. It is 4510. Mukta, it is 4510. Calculate करो आप, ठीक से calculate करो. 4510. Yes, right. Yes, Pooja, right. Yes. Yes, absolutely right. Saving is 600 and 1200. Absolutely right, Ankur. Absolutely right. So आप इसमें substitute कर दीजिए. This is the equation. So this is minus 450. This becomes 0.70 and this becomes 0.30. No, 1 minus 0.70 will be 0.30. So your saving function will be what? Saving function will be minus 450 plus 0.30 YD. YD आपको दिया है, they have given you what? 3500 and 5500. Substitute here respectively. You will get the value here. You will get 600 and 1200. Okay, Mukta, when we say compensation of employees is salaries given, wages and salary given to employees. Compensation of employees for contributing your services in return you are paid, cash or in kind. That is known as compensation of employees. Okay, Mukta? Then, yes, absolutely right, Ritika, absolutely right. So this is what you have got savings. Now the last part of the question is amount induced when disposable income is 3200. See, there's a catch over here. They simply want to confuse you. Amount induced is nothing else than B. Induced consumption. Okay. So amount induced is induced consumption. Or when we talk about consumption here, you are taking care both autonomous plus induced, isn't it? When you talk about consumption, but here they are talking about amount induced. So इस केस में आपको किसका वैल्यू लिखना है? B. B by D. Okay. So only amount induced you have to write with respect to B. So you will not write this. In this case, you will only write this much. Okay. You will not include A in this because they are not asking you consumption. They are asking you amount induced. Yes, yes, right. Yes. So what will be the value here of amount induced? How much you will write amount induced value? So it will be only 2240, no? That is what my calculations are coming. Absolutely right. 2240. Absolutely right. So induced will be 2240. Done? See, you're brilliant students. You're done correct. Okay, so good. Okay, so we are through with this. The next question is, this is 3-mark question. What is given to you? They have given you consumption function. They have given you investments. And they are asking what? They are asking equilibrium level of national income and the consumption. Now, equilibrium, you know, equilibrium is, आप लिखिए जरूर, equilibrium level of national income is when aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand, or rather aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. This is the condition of equilibrium. And what is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand in two-sector model is C plus I. Aggregate supply is Y. So this is the condition of equilibrium. So you write at equilibrium level of national income, aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Aggregate demand in this two-sector model is C plus I. Aggregate supply is Y, that is national income. C is given to you. C, they have given 200 plus 0.8 Y plus I is given 1200. Why? You can find out value of y. So 1400 y minus 0.8y, that is 0.2y. 1400 y ka value is how much? Y is equal to 1400 by 0.2. That is the value of y. So you get the value of y here. So y value will be how much? 7,000. Isn't it? So you get the value of 7,000. National income. You got national income at equilibrium 7,000 crores. And consumption, you can calculate now since you've got the value of y. Isme y ki value substitute kijiye. You will get the value of consumption. Okay? Yes, right. Yes. 7,000. Yes, absolutely right. All of you have got. Third part of previous question, Ankur. Third part of the previous question. Kuch nahi karna. In this case, they are asking amount induced. So how do? We have been doing like this, no? Consumption is equal to A plus B by D. We do it like this, no? So we take autonomous also and we take induced also. But in this question, they are simply asking you induced. So you will not take this 450 आप नहीं लेंगे इस केस में. You will only take induced is equal to 0.70 into 3200. This is what you have to do for induced in this question. Okay. So done. Consumption got here. How much is the consumption? Are Prabhas, how come 7,200? 7,000, not 7,200 is wrong. 7,000 and consumption is 5,800. Absolutely right. Yes, right. Consumption expenditure is 5,800. So, Amshi, Jaspreet, Fareen, Jitain, Karthik, all of you have got Hitesh. 5,800 is right. Prabhas, yours is wrong. Yes, Hitesh. Mansha, yes. Sheetal, yes. Good. Okay, so you got it. So this is clear. This is clear. Now the next is you have to calculate GNP at market price from the following data using value-added method. Value-added method you have to use. Value-added method means output method. Value-added method. Okay, so value-added method, value-added method is output method. And in output method, what do you get? You get gross value added at market price. So what is the formula? Formula zarur likhiye. Formula is, and they are asking for GNP. So you have to go from this to GNP. This is GDP at market price. So you have to go to GNP at market price. How do you go from D to N? Domestic to national plus NFIA. Yes. So first you calculate GDP at market price. So what will be the formula? Please do make a habit of writing complete formula. Gross value of output in primary sector minus intermediate consumption in primary sector. So 1,500 minus 751. This is minus. Second, 2,700 minus 1,200. Third, 2,100 minus 900. This gives you what? This gives you value added. You get GDP at market price. In this, you add net factor income from abroad. You get GNP at market price. Value added method. You get it from BOS. You go to Board of Studies, ICI, and you find out over there question papers. So you get all question papers over there. You will get 2 or 3 solved papers also. You will also get examiners statements related to where students have done major mistakes, which questions students could not attempt properly. So you can get ready reckoner also, where you can get all the formulas for the short to just revise during your paper, because you have shortage of time, paucity of time. You can go through that also. Okay, so you can refer to Board of Studies. You will get all. Yes, Pooja. GDP at market price and gross value added is same. Okay, so answer you people have got is how much? Yes, same. I'm also getting the same answer. 3390 Sahadev has got. Then Ankur has got 3390. Unit जरूर लिखिए crores. Okay. Make a habit of writing rupees in crores. Unit लिखना मत भूलिएगा. Always make a habit of writing units. Always make a habit of writing formulas before you write numerical values. I'm telling you again and again, this is not a paper of mathematics. This is paper of economics. It only has sanctity if you write formulas first, then write values, then write inferences. And always make a habit of writing units. So अगर आप करोड़ नहीं लिख रहे हैं, अगर mention किया है, you will lose marks. Okay, rupees crore. If you can see here, it's written rupees in crores. Make a habit of writing units always. Done. So this is what is the answer. No, Hitesh, it is not 3450. Acha, you're talking about gross value. Yes, you're talking about GDP at market price. Yes, right. GDP at market price is 3450. And then finally, your GNP at market price is 3390. Those who have got is correct. Good. Okay. Next question is, they're asking here to calculate GDP at market price and mixed income of self-employed. Yes, right. Mansha, Kaveri, yes, absolutely right. Okay, so the next question here is, they're asking GDP at market price. Absolutely, पूरा लिखना है, हमेशा पूरा लिखना है. Just always make a habit of writing complete thing to be on the safer side. अगर आपको अच्छे marks चाहिए, full marks चाहिए, so make a habit of writing everything. That makes easy for you. You will develop habit once you start solving questions. No, जब आप अपनी तरफ से prepare करेंगे, make a habit of writing complete thing so that it comes in your habit. And once you write in the question paper, it will automatically happen that you will always write in a systematic manner. If you will keep it only for the answers when you have to write in the exams, then you will not be able to practice it. So make a habit. Abhi bhi many of you are writing simply values, right? 3450 wrong hai. 3450 is GDP is correct. Pi on GDP is 3450. Final answer hai 3390. Chaliye, next question. Next question is compute GDP at market price. So they are asking you GDP at market price 1. They are asking you mixed income of self-employed. आपको पता है mixed income, you get it through which method? You use it in which method? You use it in income method, isn't it? So this is income method. Now, income method, what is your end product? You get what end product? NDP at factor cost. Yes? Through income method, you get NDP at factor. This is given to you. They have given you NDP at factor cost. So you know income method. What are the components of income method? Income method is compensation of employees, operating surplus, plus mixed income. This operating surplus is further segregated as profit, rent, interest, and profit. And the sum of this gives you NDP at factor cost. This is given to you. They have given you compensation of employees. This is given to you. They have given you rent, interest, and profit. This is given to you. Only factor missing is mixed income. You can find out mixed income here. So what is the value of mixed income here? What is the value of mixed income here? आपको NDP at factor cost is given 1450. You know this is income method. Compensation of employees is given to you. Rent, interest, and profit is given to you. Mixed income, you can find out what is the value of mixed income here. Calculate कीजिए. Absolutely right. Prabhas has got, Shravya has got, yes, right. 187 crore. Yes, Jasprit has got. Amritpal has got, yes, yes. Tika, Sheetal, Prabhas, Anshil, absolutely right. So you got mixed income of self. Now you have to calculate GDP at market price. Because they are asking GDP at market price, you know, through income method you get NDP at factor cost. आपको पता है NDP at factor cost से GDP market price कैसे जाएंगे? They have given you have got NDP at factor cost, isn't it? You have to go to GDP at market price. Do conversions. Remember the golden rules. Net to gross. Net to gross is plus depreciation. Domestic is domestic only. Factor cost to market price you have to go. Factor cost to market price is plus NIT. Find out. Do right steps. Yes, absolutely right. All of you have got good. Okay, so Teja is saying GDP at market price is 15. Absolutely right, Teja. Yes, right. Aniket is right. Pooja is right. 15. Anshil is right. Yes, absolutely right. It is 1515 crores. See, you have started writing units. Good. So this is 1515 crores. Absolutely right. So we have done this. So let's take a break for 10 minutes and then we'll start with further questions. Okay. So we'll talk about the rest of the questions after the break. No, Hitesh, 1498 कैसे आया? 1498 is wrong, my dear. 1498 is wrong. This is 1515 crores. Just check. You might have done something wrong. Hitesh, check it again. It's not. It is 1515 crores. Okay, so we'll take a break and then we'll resume after 10 minutes, and then we'll go ahead. Okay. हाँ जी. Okay, so we have done this question. I hope all of you have got the answer. I can see majority of you have got the correct answer. So let's go ahead with the next question. Okay. So this is 2 more question. And this is about due to recession in an economy, government expenditure increases by 6 billion, rupees 6 billion. If marginal propensity to consume in the economy is 0.8, compute the increase in GDP. So which concept is it? This question is based on which concept, if you can connect? This is the concept of multiplier, which we have done in the last class. Okay, so multiplier here, how will you solve this problem? They have given marginal propensity to consume. So they are talking about recession. Recession, you understand? Recession is about aggregate supply with Y. I am finding this subject difficult. See, Sujil, regarding aggregate supply as Y, because I don't know you have taken care about the prior classes or not, but I'm sharing once again because we should be on the same platform when we are sharing here at the same level. See, national income of the country is about country's income, which can be measured through different methods. So different methods gives you country's income, and income you get it through output. When you produce goods and services, then only you hire people, they get income. You sell your goods, you get income. Okay, those people who work for you, they get income. So output generates income. So output is one of the method of getting generation of income in the country. If there's no output, then no income will be generated. So output is supply, no? Output is supply, and that can be measured through income. So that is what Y stands for, supply front. Okay, so supply is in terms of output or income. And demand front is from the consumption demand, investment demand, expenditure demand, export demand, import demand. Okay, so that is from the demand perspective. Okay, anyways, yes, Karthik is right, this concept of multiplier. So when we talk about multiplier here, recession, you understand, recession means aggregate demand is too low. Okay, recession means aggregate demand is low. And technically they say that if aggregate demand for 2 consecutive quarters is less than 2%. This is how they say recession basically is about. So for 2 consecutive quarters, if aggregate demand is less than 2%, GDP is less than 2%, that is recession. Means people are not demanding. Market is not good. So what government decides, remember Keynes said that if things are not moving in the right manner, government has to intervene. So government expenditure, let's say government expenditure increased by 6 billion. So what is happening here? We are talking about multiplier. So सबसे पहले आप लिखेंगे, this is the concept of multiplier. And the multiplier is depicted through change in income to change in investments. This can also be written as 1 upon 1 minus MPC. What is MPC? MPC is marginal propensity to consume. Multiplier depicts about that by unit increase in investments, how much income in multiples is generated in the country. That is multiplier. By unit increase in investments, how much multiple increase in income has been generated in the economy. That is multiplier. Okay, multiplier is delta Y by delta I. Now what is given, or delta I in this case you can write as delta G. Delta G is government multiplier. Okay, so government expenditure. So delta Y by delta G is equal to multiplier is equal to 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Now they have given you, this is not given, they have given you delta G 6 billion. 6 billion is given. It is given to you, marginal consumer 0.8. So what will be the value of delta Y here? Delta Y will be This is 0.2 is 1 by 0.2 is 5, no? So 5 into 6, that is 5 6 are 30. So 30 billion rupees income will be generated in the economy. 30 billion. Yes, Sujal, right, yes. Mancha, right, yes. Hitesh, yes, you're right. Shravya, 5 is multiplier and the value generated will be how much? Rupees 30 billion. Value generated will be 30 billion. Multiplier cannot be in billions. It is an absolute number, so it is 5. Okay? So this is 30 billion is the answer here. Okay, yes, just read. Multiplier is 5, yes. You cannot write in billions. Multiplier is an absolute number. Which Achha say. Okay. So if you can understand the concept of multiplier, we have already done it in the last class. मैं आपको एक बार फिर से बता देती हूँ. We are running short of time because I want to complete all the questions which I have collated here for you people. Anyways, okay, so multiplier basically is example. You take example, real life example, that when we talk about flyovers, railways, roads, what happens when flyover are constructed? Because of flyover, many people get job, and that is the investment done by the government. So investment, this is a government expenditure multiplier. Government expenditure multiplier is, you will write this is government expenditure multiplier. Government expenditure multiplier is if government spends, if government is going to spend, it generates multiple increase in income. That is represented by delta Y by delta G. Delta G is government expenditure, increase in government expenditure. Delta Y is increase in country's income. This is known as government multiplier. This government multiplier has another component which you can represent as delta Y by delta G. You can also represent as 1 upon 1 minus MPC. MPC is marginal propensity to consume. So you get here, you equate these two. What is given to you, this is given to you, this is given to you, only this is missing. So you will get the value here. Done? 30 billion. Absolutely right. Okay. So the next question is this. Now they're asking you to calculate depreciation here. Okay. So what is given to you? They have given GDP at market price. Can you see here? GDP at market price is given. Then they have given you NNP at factor cost. They have given you GDP at market price. They have given you NNP at factor cost. You have to calculate depreciation. So what should you do basically? You move from NNP. You move from NNP at factor cost. I should take some other time. Okay. So what you have to do basically here, you have to move from NNP at factor cost to GNP to this GDP. You have to go to NDP at market price, isn't it? Because here they have given you GDP at market price. Once you have NDP at market price, you have GDP at market price. Difference of this will be what? Depreciation. So you have to go to this point. Where are you? You are at this point, NNP at factor cost. Now you know how to go from NNP at factor cost to NDP at market price. National to domestic. National to domestic is, how do we go from national to domestic? Golden rule, minus NFIA. Yes. You are going from national to domestic, net factor income from abroad. Net factor income from abroad is given here. So what you do? 846,576 में से minus कीजिए 232. But since it is minus and minus, so it will become plus. Yes. So in this you add NFIA. Okay. Add NFIA. What do you get? What do you get? NNP at factor cost. I'm sorry, minus NFIA. You deduct NFIA. So you deduct NFIA, you get what? You get NDP. You get NDP at factor cost. Done? Once you have got NDP at factor cost, next what you have to do, you have to take care about here, plus net indirect taxes. You get what? NDP at market price. Once you get NDP at market price, you have GDP at market price. Difference of this will be depreciation. Depreciation, okay, you've got depreciation. Very good. Shivam has got, Ritika has got, very good. Absolutely right. So depreciation, abhi bhi aapne units nahi likhe. So this is about value, you get 29,190 crores. Yes, right. GDP at market price minus depreciation. Yes. So depreciation is 29,190 crores. Absolutely right. Okay. So you get 29,190 crores. That's the answer of depreciation. So I told you prior also that if you know simple conversion, you can get the answer. And please write all steps. All steps. $2,910. Yes. Absolutely right. Absolutely. No. Prabhas, your answer is not correct. 29. I hope typing error hai jo aapne likha. It is 29190. Mukta, your answer is not correct. Karthik, your answer is not correct. No. It is 29190. Those who have got 291. Simple, yaad rakhiye. You have been given an NNP at factor cost. First, you go from NNP at factor cost to NDP at market price. Once you go to NDP at market price, then GDP minus NDP at market price gives you the value. Okay, so this is how you have to do it. Next question. How come, Hitesh, you are getting 84634? How come you are getting this answer here? Yes, Prabhas, right. 29190. Yes, right. Absolutely right. Yes. Karthik, no, it is not. No, 29754. No. The way I have told you, follow like that only. Do not change the sequence. Please follow it like this. The way I have told you. National income आपको दी है, NNP at factor cost. You go to NDP at market price. NNP at factor cost से NDP at market price जाइए. What do you have to do? Minus NFIA plus NIT. Once you do this, then the value which you get here is, then you get the answer of depreciation. Okay. अभी भी गलत है मुक्ता. 29168 नहीं आएगा. Anyways, आप check करिए. Calculation error है कुछ. You are doing some calculation error. Answer is 29190 crores. Now the next question is, this is given to you. Okay, so they have given consumption function here. Consumption function is given to you. This 5-mark question. And in this case, they have given consumption, they have given government expenditure, they have given an investment, they have given tax function. You remember tax function we have shared? This is which tax? This is autonomous tax, and this is the tax dependent on income. Okay, so this is the tax which is dependent on income. This is what? This is transfer receipts. This is what? This is the autonomous exports. This is dependent on income. So this is marginal propensity to import, And this is about the tax rate, this is margin to consume. We have done this in the last class. Got it? Good, good. See, aggregate amount of indirect taxes are given, no? Net indirect taxes are not given. So subsidies, so you have to deduct, Mukta. Okay. Please आप find out कर लेंगे कहाँ गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं. Anyway, so the next question is this one. Here, consumption function is given, government expenditure is given, investment is given, tax function is given. So they are asking you to find out, find minimum level of national income. This is 5-mark question and it has 3 components here: equilibrium income, net exports, and consumption. Yes, 3 components. So how will you get national income? National income or the equilibrium level of income? How do you get equilibrium level of income? Equilibrium level of income is aggregate demand equal to aggregate supply. Aggregate demand here components are C plus I plus G plus X minus M is equal to aggregate supply, that is Y. Okay. Now C consumption function is given, that is given 200 plus 0.60. This is a little bit complicated because of the number of variables mentioned here. 60. Now C, you know, is C is A plus B YD. YD आपको पता है, that is YD is Y minus tax or plus transfer receipts. Transfer receipts is 50. So 50 minus taxes. Taxes 10 plus 0.20y. Isn't it? This is YD. YD के लिए substitute कीजिए. YD, you know, YD we have discussed a number of times. YD is Y plus TR minus taxes. We have done this, no? Substitute कीजिए. Substitute here. So this is C plus I. I is 240. Plus G. G is 150. Plus net exports. Net exports is X minus M. X is 30 plus 0.2 Y minus imports 400. This is your equation. And on the left side you'll have Y equal to Y. Equate this with Y. Unknown variable is Y. Find out the value of Y. Yes, that's right. I'll solve it later. आप पहले इसको कीजिए. Kaveri and Mukta, you can solve that later. Just work on this. So this is given here. What is given to you here? They have given you aggregate. You have to equate 2 equations. I have written the complete equation for you. Basically, it is C plus I plus G plus X minus M is equal to Y. So consumption is given to you. YD में substitute कीजिए. YD is Y plus TR minus taxes. This YD is Y plus TR minus taxes. TR is given to you, tax is given to you. Substitute, I have already substituted here. Y plus TR is 50 minus tax. Open the equation, open this bracket, solve it here, then take out the value of Y. Okay, Anshul has got Y value. Absolutely right. Fabulous. 762.5. Absolutely right. Yes, Anshul has got correct answer. Good. Bless you. Good. 762.5 is correct. Substitute. I've already written equation here. आपको simply solve करके y का value find out करना है. This is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. And I have substituted value of YD. YD value is Y minus Y plus transfer receipts plus taxes. Plus transfer receipt minus taxes, isn't it? So I've written over here everything. You have to find out why missing value. No, it is 762.5. Yes. Prabhas is also got right. Yes. Export is written like this. Export. This is how the nomenclature is followed. Export is written like X and import is written by M. Okay, and the value of export here is this export basically means this 30 is autonomous. If income is 0, then only you will go for this much of exports. So this is autonomous, this is induced on income. That's the significance. So if income increases here, this 0.2% will be increase in exports. That is this 0.2 depicts about. The way we have done it in case of marginal propensity to consume. So this is autonomous, which is not dependent on income, and this export is dependent on income. Okay, Karthik. So yes, 762.5. Yes, right. Okay, so this is autonomous plus induced exports. Autonomous and induced. Induced is 0.2, which is dependent on income. And if income increases by 1%, export increases by 0.2%. That is the significance here. If income increases by 1%, since the sign is positive, export increases by 0.2%. Okay, so once you have got this 762.5, 762.5 is the answer. Then you have to find out net exports. How will you find net exports? You've got value of Y. You've got the value of Y. Export function is X is equal to 30 plus 0.2 Y. You have got the value of Y. Y is 30 plus 0.2, 762.5. Substitute कीजिए, you will get the answer here of exports. So your exports here will be minus in this case. Net exports, they are asking about net exports. First you find out exports. Exports is how much? 182. Imports is, import value is 400. So net exports will be negative. Net exports is exports minus imports. X minus M. So 182 minus 400. This will be negative. This will be how much? 217.5. How come? How come 182? Yes, 182 is 182.5 is it coming? 762.5 is 182.5. Yes, you're right, 182.5. This is absolutely, yes, this is 182.5. Export is 182.5. And net exports is 21, negative. So India is importing more than exporting. So net export is minus, no. Net export is not 182.5. Net export is minus 217.5. Net exports. Exports is 182.5. Absolutely right. Which one? I've solved it, no, Pooja? I've solved it. I've solved it. केवल y का value आपको इसमें calculate करना है. Just add on the values, you will get the value here. I've written equation for you. Okay, so you will get this 217. Simple concept there. See, fundamental rule in Keynesian model you have to remember is two things. There are two basic concepts which are very important in Keynesian theory. One is about consumption function. Consumption function, which is the core, because aggregate demand depends on consumption function. याद रखिए, consumption, you will never do any mistake if you remember these fundamental rules. Consumption is equal to A plus B by D. YD is Y plus TR minus taxes. Number 3, tax की equation क्या होगी? Tax will be T, which is autonomous, plus TY. This is dependent on income, tax. Similarly, exports. Exports एक autonomous होगा, plus exports dependent on income. Then imports. So these are the simple concepts, if you remember. Then multiplier. Multiplier is government multiplier. Government multiplier is 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Investment multiplier is 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Net exports, you understand. Consumption, you understand. So you simply have to substitute here the value and find out the answer. And what is the condition of equilibrium? Condition of equilibrium, yaad rakhiye, if it is a two-sector model, this is a four-sector model. If it is a two-sector model, then in that case, equilibrium will be aggregate demand equal to aggregate supply. In any case, if it is two-sector model, aggregate demand will be C plus I. Aggregate supply will be Y. If it is a three-sector model, it will be C plus I plus G is equal to Y. If it is a four-sector model, it will be C plus I plus G plus net exports. Is equal to Y. In this case, it is a four-sector model. So you have to take consumption equation, this equation, you have to take government, you have to take investments, you have to substitute this here because this is the formula we have shared. Is YD. So these some fundamental rules you have to remember. $182.5. Yes, right. Yes, right, correct. Mukta, you have got the answer now, correct. Consumption is, how much is consumption? Consumption is 162.5. Consumption is 590. Consumption is 590, no? Absolutely, yes, Karthik, right. Yes, right. Consumption, aapka, what is the value of consumption? 657. How come 657? Mine is coming 590. Just check how much is consumption value you are getting. Consumption, just check the value of consumption. Akshil is getting 657. Mukta is getting 657. How come? Okay, just check it once. Yes, right. Yukti is getting 590. Yes, right. 590 is correct. Yes, so this is 5-mark question. It has 3 components. 590 is correct. Just check your answer once again. Those who have got consumption figure wrong. Okay. So this question is about, you have to compute subsidies here. Okay. This is again national income. So you have to calculate subsidies here. What is given to you? GDP at market price is given. GDP at factor cost is given. So they have given you GDP at market price. They've given you GDP at factor cost. You know what is the difference between GDP at market price and factor cost? What's the difference between these two? From market price to factor cost, minus net indirect taxes. Net indirect taxes are indirect taxes minus, subsidies. Isn't it? Now in this case, this is given to you, this is given to you. This is given, indirect taxes is given. So your formula for getting this is GDP at market price is equal to GDP at factor cost plus indirect taxes I'll write it here. Month. So you will write GDP at factor cost plus indirect taxes minus subsidies is equal to GDP at market price. This is given to you. This is given 360,815 plus they have given indirect taxes, that is 454,367 minus subsidy is not given to you. Market price is given 779,567. You can find out this. So this will be 360,815 plus 454,367 minus 779,567 is equal to subsidies. We get the value. Actually, you've got subsidies. Yes, 35615. Yes, right. 35615 crores. Yes, right. Yes, Aniket, Ankur, and Venkat, Amritpal, and Shravan. All of you have got. Yes. Okay. So this is the answer. Yes, right. Utesh, yes, all of you have got. Srijani, Pooja, all have got. No. Pooja, your answer is again wrong. 3-5. I hope typing error, you have done some mistake by writing that. It is 35615. 35615. Those who have got 35615 is correct. Okay, so that's the answer. Simple minus karna hai usme. It's not a big task. Next question is, compute NNP at factor cost or national income from the following data. Now you have to calculate NNP at factor cost. For NNP at factor cost here, what do you get here? Which are the components given? Compensation of employees, mixed income of self. So this is which one? This is income method. And what do you get in income method? You get NDP at factor cost. They are asking you NNP at factor cost. So once you get this, then what do you need to add? You have to add net factor income from abroad. Okay. Now to get this NDP, what is the formula? Compensation of employees plus rent plus interest plus profit plus mixed income gives you what? NDP at factor cost. Yes, right. NDP at factor cost. So calculate NDP at factor cost, compensation of employees, rent, interest, profit, mixed income. That gives NDP at factor. What's the value? Okay, you have got, Amritpal has got 8430, Yukti has got, Prabhat has got. Yes, right. NNP at factor cost is 8430 crore. Absolutely right. 8430 crore is the answer for this question. NNP at factor cost. Okay. I hope you are following the order, the way it has to be done, and you'll make a habit of writing everything. Okay. So follow the sequence. Do not miss single step and do not concentrate only on answer. Process equally matters. Okay. Then the next question is this. 3-mark question. So they have given you consumption function, they have given you investment, they have given you net exports, they are asking for equilibrium level of output. NNP at factor cost, yes, just read. NNP at factor cost is 8430, yes. Yes, Shabna, Hitesh, yes, right. 8430 is the answer, correct. Kaveri, yes, all of you have got correct. So the next question is, they have given you consumption function, they have given you investment, they have given you net exports, asking for equilibrium level of output. Now this is again aggregate at equilibrium. आप हमेशा ऐसे लिखेंगे at equilibrium aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Aggregate demand here is C plus I plus X minus M, because government का दिया नहीं है, so we can write X minus M. And aggregate supply is Y. The C is given to you 300 plus 0.75Y plus I is given 800 plus net imports are given. Net imports means minus ho gaya 1 is equal to Y. So this is your equation. Once you have this equation, you can find out value of Y. Okay. Eight four three zero is right. Now solve this, please. What's the answer? Remember here it is given net imports. We take net exports. So आप minus करेंगे 100 इस case में. 4,000 crore is right. 4,000 is right. Aniket has got right. 4,000 crore is right. Ankur has got right. Mantra, Shinji, then Sanha, then Shravya, all of you have got right. 4,000 is the answer. 4,000 crore is the answer. Okay. So rupees 4,000 in on a unit nahi mention kiya, so you can write rupees 4,000. If they would had written unit over here, you should have. You can also write. Okay. So 4,000 is the answer. Simple question, 3-mark question. Next. They're asking you to calculate GNP at factor cost and CP at market price. They're asking you GNP at factor cost and NDP at market price. Now you have to see the components, which components are given here. Yes, just read, right, 4,000. In this case, what are the components given to you? They are asking GNP at factor cost. Personal consumption expenditure, public investments, exports. So this is expenditure method. In expenditure method, what do you get? Expenditure method, you get GDP at market price. They are asking you to get GNP at factor cost. And they're asking you NDP. So you know from GDP to NDP, only you have to deduct depreciation. Okay, so to get this, what you have to add, this is C, this is I, then this is I, then this is also I, gross, investments. Gross business fixed investment is also I. So these are the components of investments. Then this is G. This is G. And then this is X. And this is M. So you have all the components C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Add कीजिए. You will get what? GDP at market price. Once you get at GDP at market price, then you deduct consumption of fixed capital. Minus कीजिए. You will get NDP at market price. Once you get NDP at market price, if you have to go from GDP at market price to GNP at factor cost, first find out GDP at market price. What's the value of GDP at market price? 4,000 is right. Yes, Samritka, 4,000 is right. How 4,000? Simple question. I've already why आपको calculate करना था last question में. What's wrong in this? Simply y की value calculate करनी है आपको. Everything is given. You have to calculate y in this case. Those who have calculated, Preet has calculated 5530. Absolutely right. 5530 is GDP at market price is 5530 or 5430. 5430 or 5530? C plus I plus 1 second. Let me see. Imports is 300 and exports is 200. तो ये minus हो जाएगा. Export minus imports minus 100 हो जाएगा ना. 5530 is 5430 or 5530. Just check your answer. 5430 is right. Shabya has got 5430 is right. GDP is 5430. Just check it. C plus I. I've already written all the components here. So yours is 2900 plus 500 plus 170 plus 450. Then plus 410 plus 1100 and minus 100. No? Minus 100 because net exports is, imports is 300 and exports is 200. So minus 100 हो जाएगा. This is 5430. Yes, Amritpal, 5430 is right. $5430. So 5430 is your GDP at market price plus NFIA. NFIA is how much? Net factor is minus 30. 5430 minus 30 will be how much? 5400. So it will be 5400. And followed by deducting net indirect taxes. So what's the answer of GNP? GNP at market price. NDP at market price. What is the value of NDP at market price? NDP at market price. Absolutely right. 5370. Fareen is right. 5370 is right. NDP at market price is 5370. Fareen is right. 5370. Others, NDP at market price आपको calculate करना है. NDP at market price. And GNP at factor cost. Okay, you calculated 5400 is right. 5400 is right. GNP at factor cost, yes. Okay. So I hope, yes, that's very good. Yes. Yeah, now it is right. 5370 is right. Yes. 5480 कैसे आ रहा है आपका GNP फैक्टर कॉस्ट माइनस होगा ना -80 you have to Prabhas you're going to factor cost plus indirect taxes minus subsidies, no? Minus subsidies. The subsidies have to be deducted, no? You are going from market price to factor cost. Okay, anyways, so I hope you have got the answer. Then the next question. Okay, okay. So you've got next question is when investment in an economy increases by 1,000 crores. If investment in the economy increases by 1,000 crores to rupees 14,000 crore, 10,000 crores to 14,000 crore. As a result of this, national income rises from 80,000 to 92,000 crore. Compute investment multiplier. So they are asking here investment multiplier. And what is the formula of investment multiplier? Yes, subsidy will be added. You're right. You're right. Yes, all of you have got. Yes. Yes, Karthik is also right. Yes. Yes, subsidies are added. Right. K3, you have calculated, Amritpal has calculated multiplier as 3. Absolutely right. So the multiplier value will be 3. How do you get multiplier value? Because you know multiplier is investment here is. Yes, Ankur, it's right. Subsidies will be added. Yes, you're right. So in this case, what is given to you? They're asking for multiplier. Investment in economy rises by delta Y by delta I is equal to K. You'll find out investment in the economy is 10,000 crore to 14,000. So investment increases by 4,000. And as a result, national income rises from 80,000 to 92,000, 12,000. So this will give you the value here. K value will be equal to 3. So multiplier is 3. Right. Simple question. 5370. Yes, right. GNP at factor cost. GNP at factor cost, people are getting different values here. 1 second. GNP, they're asking at factor cost. How much you have got GDP at market price? Solve it once again. Let's solve it once again. GDP at market price is 5430. We are all on the same platform, 5430. GDP at market price, 5430. Then you have to get NDP. GDP में से आप minus 5430. Depreciation is how much? 60. Minus कीजिए 60. 5430 में से 60. So you will get GDP, NDP at market price done. All of you have got the correct answer. 5370 done. The next part is NDP at market price. Sorry, GNP at factor cost. GNP at factor cost is, let's go from 5430 to GNP at factor cost. That is, market price से factor cost आप जा रहे हैं, minus NIT करेंगे. So minus NIT means subsidies will be added. Subsidies you go for minus NIT. You go from market price to NIT. Factor cost is minus NIT. यहीं पे confusion है आप लोगों को. This will be minus NIT when you're going from market price to factor cost. Minus NIT is indirect taxes minus subsidies. Subsidies add हो जाएंगे. Yes, you are right. Okay. Yes, you can write, Karthik. You can write the multiplier impact is 3. So the income generated in the economy will be 3 times of the investment in the economy. Yes. Right. 5480 is right. Yes. Okay. So this is, we are through with this. Then I believe this is last question of this from these 2 chapters. This is simple question. I believe this was asked in the very first time this paper was introduced. The last 2 questions which you see, they are so simple in nature. So these 2 were asked when first time this paper was introduced as per the new syllabus. That was questions were very simple, but over the period of time, the complexity of questions has gone up over the period of time. So here, this simple question, they're asking average propensity to consume and average propensity to save. You know the formula. Y is equal to C plus S. Income, either you consume or you save. Since they have given you income, you can find, they have given you consumption, you can find out saving. So you can find out saving, and then average propensity to consume and average propensity to save. Consumption is C by Y, and average propensity to save is S by Y. So income is given, consumption is given. So saving is basically 1000. So 1000 by 4000, and this will be 3000 by 4000. Simple question. Happy Navratris. Happy Navratris. Okay, so this is what is about questions which were asked in the paper over the period of time. I believe I've taken it from 19 onwards, 19 or 18 onwards. So the year when this paper was introduced, from there I've taken all the questions related to this. Yes, 0.75. Yes, right. This is simple. 0.75 and 0.25. As simple as that. So this is clear. Now, one question with regarding depreciation, where query was there. Okay, this question. So those who had problem in this question, I wanted to solve it again. I'm doing it again for you so that you understand. Let's go step by step so that you know about how to do it. Okay. So basically they want you to find out depreciation. They have given you 2 major components here. They have given you GDP at market price. We want to get NDP at market price. That is what we want. Reason being, gross minus net is depreciation, so that we can get depreciation. That's our objective. Now this is given to you. They have given you NNP at factor cost. We want to go from NNP at factor cost to NDP at market price. So net is net. Here it is domestic, here it is national. So we are going from national to domestic. So from NNP at factor cost, if you go to NDP at factor cost, what you have to do, you have to add, you have to deduct NFIA. So this is given 8,000 846, 576 minus NFIA. Minus NFIA. NFIA is given this minus 232. So ये minus minus plus हो जाएगा. This you will get NDP at factor cost. What's the value of NDP at once you get NDP at factor cost? Okay, who had asked for this? One of you were not getting it. Anyways, I'm not able to trace, but you can find out. So you will get, इसमें आप plus 232 add कर देंगे, you will get NDP at factor cost. Once you get NDP at factor cost, whatever value you'll get here, in that we have to go to NDP at market price now, from NDP at factor cost. So what will you do here? In this, you will add net indirect taxes, NIT. You will get NNP at market price. Sorry, NDP at market price. Once you get NDP at market price, इसमें से minus कर दीजिए, you will get depreciation. Done? One time explain question number 2. Which was question number 2? Very beginning what we had said. That's one. One was this, second was this. So this should be clear. This is a simple question. It's based on output method. You should simply know about the components of output method. What are the components of output method? And then you can calculate GDP at market price. So they have given domestic sales, they have given exports. याद रखिए, exports will always be taken into consideration because the goods are produced in India. So they are part of domestic territory. Okay. So exports को add करिए domestic sales के साथ में, but for getting sales figures, total sales figures. The question with C is equal to 300 plus 0.75y. Where is it? I'm not able to find which one you are asking about. $300 plus 0.75y. Okay, this one. What is wrong in this? This is a simple question. This equilibrium, yaad rakhiye, equilibrium is always aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. In this case, they have given you consumption, investments, and net inputs. Aggregate demand is C plus I, because they have not given G, no? Government expenditure they have not given, but they have given net exports we take. Net exports is exports minus import is equal to Y, okay? So here C is given, C is 300 plus 0.75Y. I is given 800. Net exports is exports minus imports. But here it is net imports. That means it will be minus 100 is equal to Y. So this will become 1100 plus 0.5 will go there. It is minus 0.75 y minus 100 is equal to y. So 1100 minus 100 is y minus 0.75 y. 0.25 y is equal to 1000. Y का value आप calculate कर लीजिए. Okay. Yes, it's in yellow color. Question paper is in yellow color. See, these are not question papers. These are questions which I have taken it from different question papers. I'll upload it. We have already solved all the questions. You can do practice from your end once again. So I'll upload it as it is, because I've compiled all questions, taken by snipping tool all the questions, so that I thought about discussing with you people, and we can you can gain some confidence. So is it clear to all of you? So what is the fundamental rule you have to remember? Next class we are going to start with a new topic, public finance. So we are through with this, and another thing which you have to remember in this chapter is deflationary and inflationary gap. So do remember about inflationary and inflationary gap. What is the concept of inflationary gap and deflationary gap with respect to full employment? So always remember that aggregate demand concept. This is about consumption demand. This is about consumption and investment demand. Consumption demand is A plus BYD. This is what this is autonomous consumption. This is what this is change in income to change in consumption. This is change in income. This is change in consumption. This is B. This is C plus I. And this is your equilibrium. This is Y. This is your position of equilibrium. This you should remember about. This is income, output, and employment. Inflationary and deflationary gap concept आपको आना चाहिए. This is, let's say this is full employment. So to the left of this will be underemployment, and to the right of it will be overemployment. If you are to the left of this means that you are in deflationary gap. If you are to the right of this, that means you are in inflationary gap. So you should know about inflationary gap and deflationary gap concept. Okay, these are theory questions based on graphs. I hope you will be able to do it. You will be able to work on it. Any other query if you have, I can take it. Otherwise, you can find out. NIA, Mukta, I've told you already, NIA is National Income Accounting. NIA is National Income Accounting. National Income Accounting, we have already done the chapter related to National Income Accounting. We have also done Keynesian concepts. So this is based on the last few classes where we had to share about the numerical part, because I thought if you have some competence in numerical along with the concepts, this will help you to get better score and get through your intermediate exam. Why national income and income method different? No, same hai. Shravya, in national income is same in both the cases, by income method and the expenditure method. Illustration you're talking from the book? Which illustration you're talking? Okay, thank you to all of you. Take care. So no questions here in exam. We draw diagrams. Yes, you have to draw diagrams. So if the demand of the question is like that. Okay, so if question demands, then you have to draw the diagram. And it's given in your book, and we have already shared all the diagrams. So you cannot afford to miss single thing for such competitive exams, you understand? If you're really looking for getting through in one go. So please do work very hard and be thorough with concepts. If you're thorough with concepts, nobody can stop you from getting through. Okay. So that's it for today's class. Since you have no queries left, we'll wind up. No, not on national income accounting. Who is this, Mukta? We have taken examples from both, from national income accounting, even from multiplier concept, from equilibrium, everything. In module 1, question 5B. Question 5B in module 1. Page number batao. Which page number you're talking about? Manan, page number. Ma'am, page number. Tell me the page number if you really want this problem to be solved. 5B. I don't know which question you are talking about. Anyways, solve problem to आप कर ही लेंगे. We have already done all the questions. Okay, then take care, all of you. Bless you all, or roughly or accurate diagram. Make a habit of making good diagrams. I'm working on this. That's why I'm finding it difficult. आप तो paper pen से बनाएंगे, so you should make good diagrams, neat and clean. I'm working on this webcam. That is why I'm not finding it easy to draw. आप तो अच्छे से बनाइए. Okay, then take care, all of you. Bless you all, and happy Navratras once again. And thank you to all of you for writing good comments. Okay, then bless you all, and be ready for the next class. That will be about public finance. Okay, then take care. हाँ जी. Okay, thank you.